Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another glove review. Okay, so if you've been tuning into my channel, you see that I've done the Coleto Reyes lace-up review. And today, it's the time for the Rival RS100 lace-up, okay? Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, Ant, like, don't they all come in lace-up? Like, why are you saying lace-up? They do. The RS100s are all lace-ups, but the RS11Bs are the exact same glove, but just with the D strap, okay? The Velcro strap. Okay, so it's the exact same glove, but they have it named differently. The RS100 is the lace-up. The RS11V is the exact same glove, exact same fit, but with the Velcro strap, okay? And I don't own a pair of those, but I've tried them, and it's pretty much the same thing. So you can really go either which way with these, okay? So the way I'm gonna review these gloves is, the first thing is appearance, okay? The second thing, I'm gonna go over the durability. The third thing, the comfort. The fourth thing, performance. And the fifth and final thing, the price. Is it worth it? Do I think you should buy it, okay? So getting into the very first thing, the appearance. So if you watch my last video, the first thing you'll notice, and you're probably wondering to yourself, is didn't you have the red and silver pair? I did. I had the red and silver pair. So if you haven't seen what that looks like, you can look on Rival's website, or you can just look at my last video and you'll see it in there as well. This part right here is all silver. Where everything is gold, it's silver, okay? And then the part where it's black, it's just red. So it's a really nice colorway, but long story short, I had a buddy who wanted those, and I had those, and I wanted these, and so we just traded, right? But the exact same glove. So let's get into it, okay? The appearance, I think, is freaking fantastic. I think they killed it with the colorways that they have. They have the ones that I truly wanted was the gold and white, so where this is the same, but this is white. It's really nice, but these are a unique twist on it as well. They have a green one where this is green and this is gold. Fantastic as well. Reminds me of the WBC colorways, so that's a really dope colorway. And then they have blue and silver, which is the opposite of like the red and silver one, right? But that one arguably is the best one, to be honest. I wish I got that one. But for some reason I didn't like blue gloves back then, but they've started to grow on me, okay? So this is the inside of the glove and how it kind of looks like. It just looks like a very flashy glove, right? Like it looks like, you know, you spent $300 on these things and, you know, you're about to work somebody, okay? So it fits pretty nice on the hand. The first thing you'll notice is that it is pretty big. So like, let's say I have both of these gloves on, okay? If I'm defending, if I'm doing a high guard, right? It's a very big glove. If I'm catching a punch, covers almost the whole side of my head. You see that? So it's a very big sparring glove. And that's the next point that I'm going to go into, the durability of these things, the comfort, the fit, etc. Okay, so these are technically a sparring glove. It says RS100 sparring glove, and this is the 16 ounce. It always says it right here on the side. It's like printed on there, like stitched on there. So the first thing you'll notice about this is that, you know, you can't really lie about the size that you use, right? Because, you know, a lot of people lie for some reason about the glove sizes and stuff like that. You can't lie about this. It just says it right there. It's 16 ounce, 14 ounce. If you're not allowed to use 14 ounce, sorry, brother, you're going to have to get the 16 ounce. So I think at the time of recording this video, they have restocked, but when they're sold out, they are sold out. And it's very tough to get these gloves, okay? So the reason I bring this up is because it says they're a sparring glove. However, I use them for everything, and I suggest that you use them for everything too, because they are a fantastic all-around glove. Coleto Reyes, same exact thing. You can use it for everything. Now, there are other gloves where I would truly recommend not using it for everything and only using them for sparring. For example, the Rival Guerrero horsehair, the SFHs. I got those. Amazing glove. I'm gonna do a review on those as well, but definitely do not use those on the bag because it will peel, right? And it really sucks that those gloves peel. There's been multiple pairs that have peeled, and you know, in my honest opinion, they're probably the best glove right under winning for sparring. But I wouldn't use those for mitt work. I wouldn't use those for the bag work, so you can preserve the kind of microfiber that's on there. Okay, so the durability of this glove. This is microfiber PU. Okay, all of this right here is microfiber. It's a type of synthetic leather, so it's not real leather. It's definitely not going to last you as long as something like a Cleto Reyes because of that. And it's a foam padding in here, and it's very, very padded. That's the first thing you'll notice. And the thing I pointed out in my last video is that it's very, very padded. If you see here, like how freaking big the glove is, it's a massive glove, to be honest with you. But because of that, it's a really great sparring glove. There's a lot of protection for yourself, like I was saying. If you want to catch a punch, if you want to parry a punch, the glove opens up pretty easy, so you can, you know, catch that punch right there. The interior, like, look at that, like my fingers are all the way open, and it's pretty easy to do that. And I have relatively small hands, so on something like a Cleto Reyes, it's a little more tough for me to do that. And that's something personally I look for in a glove, is can I open it pretty comfortably? And this one you can. Okay, so the material of the glove is, again, not going to last you as long as something like a Cleto Reyes, but surprisingly for synthetic leather, this is very, very durable. Okay, I haven't had any issues with it. Now granted, I just got this pair, but my other pair, like I said, I used for, you know, 2 months, 3 months, and pretty consistently, and it did not have any issues at all. The one thing I will warn you about right now, if you get any of the lighter colorways, so like red, blue, even green maybe, and white, so everyone except this one, is this right here, the mesh. Okay, I want you to see this right here, the mesh. Let me see if I can use the flashlight real quick. The mesh right here, okay, right? This right here can stain on you very, very easily if you're sweaty. If you don't clean these gloves, that right there on the silver ones is going to get nasty and brown. So make sure you clean your gloves. If you bleed, okay, it's gonna turn like a dark red, brownish, because the blood is gonna dry in there if you can't clean it all. And unfortunately, it's just, in sparring, it's gonna happen at some point. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I mean, if it's gonna be a glove that you have for like 3 years, 2-3 years, it's just gonna happen at some point. So if that's something you truly want to avoid, I would get the black colorway right here, because, like, you know, if you get blood on this, you're not gonna be able to really tell. Okay, so that's the main thing I wanted to warn you about. But aside from that, this glove is gonna last you a solid 3, potentially 5 years if you take care of it. Not as long as a Cleto Reyes, but if you take care of this, it'll last you a really long time. Okay, the next thing I wanted to go into is the comfort of the glove. Now this is where I personally have to drop it a few points. Okay, I'd say when you first get these gloves, they're gonna be very uncomfortable. Now what I mean by that is you put it on, okay, and the interior, I'm gonna have to turn this flashlight on again. The interior is like a sort of microfiber as well, okay? So it's nice and soft when you put it on, and you may think, oh, that's all fine and dandy, that's fantastic. But it's very, very fitted, to say the least. It's gonna take a while to break these in. You gotta use these pretty consistently. And the thing that I noticed for myself, I can't speak for anybody else, is that when using these gloves, my hands would go freaking numb, legit. During sparring, during bag work, my hands would go numb. And it's not because of the way I wrap my hands. I wrap my hands very similar with all my gloves, and I've never had any issue except with this glove and the other rival glove as well. That's just it's something I'm assuming. The way they make these gloves is that they're very fitted so that when you break them in, the interior shapes to your hands. Okay, and that's fantastic. That means as you start to sweat in it, the material inside is going to start to expand, give you some more room, and it kind of makes a shape of your fists, your specific fists. So in areas where your fist isn't, the padding there, the interior is going to be nice and fitted still, but it starts to break in with your fist the more you use it. So that's the only knock I have to give it, just because it is uncomfortable, to be completely honest with you. When you're sparring and your hand is numb, you're throwing a jab and you can't really close your fist because your hand is numb. You know what I mean? That's the only knock I'll have to give it. Like, legitimately, there's been times where I've done 2 rounds of sparring, 3 rounds of sparring, and I have to take my glove off and let my hand kind of wake up again. Now, some of you may be like, I know there's a couple of you that are very tough and gonna be like, you gotta go through it, you gotta fight it. To be honest with you, if that's something, do it. I mean, I'm all for it, but I'm not gonna spar with my hand numb, unless I'm trying to intentionally practice that in case that happens during a fight or something. But it's just something that, if you're sparring, it's a spar, dude. You know, just take your glove off, let your hand wake up, put it back in, and then break it in again, right? I don't think it's that serious, but again, I know there's a couple of you out there that go through the experience. You know, I think it's not bad to try to figure that out, because it's something that could really happen in a scenario, but obviously that's not something that I was looking for in that moment. Okay, so I took the glove off. Okay, same thing with the bag. I also don't want to hurt my hand, because if your hand is numb, you can't make the proper fist. Hurt your wrist. It's not something you want. All right, so this glove is very top heavy, right? The good thing is that it has a good amount of protection on the wrist. There is one gripe I have with it, but it's not really a bad thing. It's just a personal preference thing. But if you see here, it's very top heavy, right? So it's pretty heavy up here. The good thing is that the wrist isn't flappy, right? Like, you can bend it and stuff, but you got to apply some pressure to it. But here's where I would say I personally think it could be better, but I understand why they did this. Okay, so they wanted this to be a sparring glove. They wanted this to be, you know, just something you use for only sparring, you know. So give me just 1 second while I make these laces tight enough to show you and imitate what it would look like when the glove is tied up. Okay, so if you see here, I want you to pay close attention to this. Okay, I'm pulling it pretty tight, and look how much room I have right here. This is, I'm pulling it super tight right here, right? And I have a lot of room in here. So it doesn't provide the best wrist protection, to be completely honest with you. It provides a lot of protection for your hand, for yourself as well. Like, again, if you're catching a punch, but the wrist, although it has a lot of padding, it's not very fitted. It's not a tapered wrist. It's just a big fat circle, right? So if you're a really big dude, I mean, this may be tapered to you. But myself, roughly, I'm 165, 164 pounds. I have a lot of room. If I pull it to the side, you can even see how much room I have right here in the wrist area, right? And it's a pretty long glove too. Like, this is how much, you know, up to my elbow. It's almost covering my whole thing, and that's how much it covers right there. You can kind of see that, right? But again, it's not something that you really notice, to be fair. But if you do have very fragile wrists, if that's something you personally look for in a glove, something that's a little more fitted, to be honest with you, I would probably go with the RS100 Vs, because with the Velcro strap, you can make it super tight. And my cat, again, interrupting the video, so I'm just put him down real quick. With the RS100 Vs, you can really secure it around that wrist, just pull it super hard. Whereas with this, you know, the laces, look, there's still so much room. I'm pulling it super tight. There's still so much room in there, right? So that's something I would say as far as that, okay? So like I was saying, to be honest, you can use this for everything. Sparring, mitt work, bag work, it's really fantastic for all of them. And personally, I think it's just a great all-around glove. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy with this glove. Like, it's would I pick other gloves over it? Of course. But let's say, you know, I'm looking for a rival glove that isn't super expensive, then I would probably go with this one. Okay. The other thing I really like about this is the kind of way the thumb is attached. Now, this is kind of goes back to the appearance thing, and I'm kind of bouncing all over the place here, but just bear with me because I'm trying to get my thoughts together. But I like the way the thumb is attached, and the reason for that is because a lot of them have a little string okay, just the one little string, and you've seen it. And with gloves like that, that can start to wear down over the course of years of using it, and even months for some people, and get really thin, and it eventually can pop. So the whole point of this glove was that they wanted it to fit shaped to your hand when you make a fist. So if you see, it's not flat like this. It kind of has an angle, right? Because when you punch, right, you're punching with these front two knuckles. Your fist is like that. It's not like this. You don't punch specifically like that. You're going to hurt your wrist, right? This is your true natural position for making a fist. And that's why you'll see the front two knuckles are a little more elevated, okay? One thing I wanted to cover, actually, before I forget, is the kind of lace system here they have, okay? They put a little dent right here so that you can lace around the wrists and make it super tight. So that's pretty neat, but again, personally, I don't think it, solves this issue right here. But that's just personal opinion. You'd have to try them out for yourself and see how you like the fit. So I'm going to put some footage of me using these gloves for my bag work in one of these, parts of the video. I'm also going to put a video of me sparring. I just deleted all my storage on my phone. So I lost all my old videos. Otherwise, I would have put some sparring footage in here. Of course, I'm very sparing with that just because I don't think it's right to always post that. But just obviously for demo purposes. And then you'll see what it looks like in there. Now, granted, that was a great video because none of us were like working each other there, right? We were just kind of showing, you can kind of see what the glove looks like on somebody, all right? Now, to wrap this video up, do I think this glove is worth it? So retail price for this on Rival is like $209, if I recall correctly. Shipping, let's call it another $12. So you're looking at $209 plus 12, and then we have to account for taxes as well. So let's do $209 plus 12. Okay, you're already looking at $221. So roughly you'd be spending around $230, $240-ish for this glove. Do I think it's worth it? To be honest, yes. But if you're gonna be paying that much, I personally would go for the Guerrero if you're looking for a sparring glove. If you're looking for an all-around glove, this is probably Rival's second best glove, and there's a reason that is super popular, okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, brutally honest rating, what would I give this glove? I know a lot of people would give this like a 9, 10. Brutally honest, I would give this like an 8, okay? And don't take that as a bad thing because it's a fantastic glove. But if we're putting it up there with winning Cleto Reyes, the Rival Guerrero, it just has a lot of competition. And this is more of like you want to get a really good glove, but you don't want to pay a crazy price to get it, okay? I'd say this is probably your best bet, okay? So all around, fantastic glove. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. And I can't remember exactly what I gave the Cleto Reyes. I think I gave it a 9.5 or a 9. And because that is a fantastic glove, right? So that's just my opinion and review on the Rival RS100s. Again, it has a lot of pros. It has very few cons that are just personally, something that I have to factor in. But if you don't care about those things, if you don't care about your gloves getting dirty and stuff like that, or bloody, if you really don't care about wrist protection, then you're gonna love these gloves, to be completely honest with you. Last little piece of advice before I forget. Mine don't stink, okay? But please, please, please open the laces and open these gloves up when you're done using them. Because of the microfiber, similar to Hayabusa, if you don't do that, your gloves will smell like dog water, legit. Please air out your gloves. Make sure you keep them clean, because that way the lifespan of these will last a lot longer. Like I said, you're looking at least 3 years. If you really take care of them, you can maybe squeeze out 4 or 5, but at least 3 for sure, as long as you take care of them, okay? So fantastic glove, to be honest with you. Would it be my first pick if I'm gonna go spar? Absolutely not. But I do like to put these on every now and then. If I want to preserve, for example, if I want to hit the bag and but I don't want to use my Cleto Reyes, then I'll use this, because the Guerreros I personally wouldn't use on the bag, okay? So yeah, it has a lot of pros going for it. I think it's a really fantastic glove. I personally love it. Again, I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's the best glove. You know, I don't get any money from this at all. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I would give this an 8 out of 10. Okay, so is it worth it? Absolutely. I think you should invest into these if you're looking for a all-around glove, but you don't want to go to the absolute best right away. Okay, or if maybe you're looking to save a little bit of money with things like that. You know, obviously there are a lot of cheaper gloves that you can use for sparring, like ringside and stuff like that. But from personal experience, I would stay away from brands like that, just because, believe me, like they're gonna last you like sub 1 year, and then they're gonna get fried, and you're paying half the price for this. So let's say you're paying $130 for a ringside sparring glove. It's gonna last you 9 to 10 months, 9 to 12 months, believe me. And then next thing you know, you're buying another ringside glove. So you're paying the price of this for only 2 years, where this will last you 3 years to 5 years if you take care of it. So that's why I don't really like going for those cheaper brands, Combat Corner, etc. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know what you think. Do you have a pair of these? How do you like them? Do you agree or disagree with my 8 out of 10 rating? And just let me know your thoughts. Personally, I love reviewing gloves. I love collecting gloves. I'm going to be doing more reviews of different gloves, some headgears and stuff like that. So it's just something I personally find entertaining. I love watching review videos and stuff like that. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in to my video.